Hello guys, this is Mastons. This is the first episode of a Kerbal Space Program series in which I'm willing to grab all science on the moon and eventually on Manmus as well, but all using all sorts of modes, all sorts of realistic modes. So obviously you can see that I have Aerospace, which makes me have to use fairings. I'm also using remote tech. I'm using deadly reentry as well. I'm using TAC, which has to, you see my remote tech setup here. What a mess that is. Basically I'd call it the Scott Manley package of things that make the game more realistic. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm using this as a test for another mission on another planet. Basically what I'm gonna do is try and send lots and lots of science modules to moon orbit, get them down to the surface, take the sample, bring them all back up, one after the other, after each biome of course, and in the end bring everything back to Kerbin. I don't want to transmit anything. So yeah, that's gonna be the difficulty. As you can see here, I already have a nice remote tech setup with 3 locked satellites around the moon, this is not moon synchronous because the synchronous orbit is actually outside of the moon spheres of influence in KSP, contrary to Kerbin. As you can see, there is a little bit of a mess, but the thing is, when I first started, I have KSP Interstellar mode as well. So this is career mode, so it's not full sandbox. So I didn't have everything I wanted. So I had the first generation of satellites in Kerbin synchronous orbit, or geosynchronous orbit if you want. But there was no really long range dishes on them, so I had to send another set of 3. And also, since I sent the first batch before I unlocked the long range omnidirectional, the Comintron 32, I think, the one with 5 million meters range, I needed to have a lower set of satellites at around something like 300 or 400 kilometers, which was a mess, but yeah, I'm learning. So you see that I'm doing a classical moon transfer. I'm letting my lower stage crash down the atmosphere because I don't want too many debris. It's this past commentary, and in real time I'm showing you the triangle of satellites in geosynchronous orbit. What's really important when you set up satellites is not really the 1/8 of the orbit or even the speed. What's important is the orbital period, and if you want geosynchronous orbit, you obviously want 6 hours, because that's how long a day is on Kerbin. Yeah, so here you can see the whole relay, you can see the triangle turning, and you can see everything following my probe heading to Kerbin. So the purpose of, let's speak about this mission. The purpose of this first mission is to set up the very first part. So we have like really core things, a little tug, which is gonna prove to be not really good, a life support module, which packs something like 1 to 2 years food for one Kerbal, so it should be enough. two large solar panels and also large radiators. So all in all, I'm thinking, yeah, this is a good first part, and obviously docking ports, and this is gonna be the core of our station. Here you can see that I'm doing some adjustment, correcting my orbit. I'm aiming for 15 kilometers, so a really low orbit. I don't know if that's gonna come back and bite me in the ass in the future. Maybe I should have settled for higher, but this is post commentary, and now I'm thinking maybe I should have gone higher, but yeah. So this is what we'll have to do, and if I make mistakes, I'm gonna have to correct my mistakes. So yeah, I lowered my periapsis to 15 kilometers, and once I get there, obviously I'm gonna circularize. But what I'm gonna do is use the flight computer. The thing is with the flight computer is some people find that it's cheating. I personally don't think so, and it's actually really important in remote tech because as you can see on the top left side of the screen, I have delays. So everything I do is delayed by, in this case, 0.17 seconds. That's not big, but that can be a problem when you farther from Kerbin. The other thing, obviously, is that if you lose connection, or if you lose connection after you set up a maneuver node or something, then your probe is going to be lost because you can't control your probe if you don't have connection, which happens quite often when you are dealing with long travels. Maybe you go behind the sun, or you want to retrograde burn behind Duna, and it's actually not in range of Kerbin. So for all those reasons, and if you don't have a relay setup, for all those reasons, I'm testing the flight computer thing. But as you can see, it sometimes fails miserably, and it just failed miserably. So yeah, now I'm like, okay, I want to ditch the upper stage because I don't want the breeze, and I think I have large enough delta V to circularize my orbit. So I'm on a suborbital trajectory, so I decouple, but there is kind of a problem with the fairings, but that's alright. So I'm switching back to the core station, and yeah, I've got to hurry because I'm on suborbital trajectory. Thing is with this thing is that I was telling you earlier that this tug is actually really bad. One of the reasons for that is that it packs almost no torque. So, you know, I'm just like floating around, turning. It's taking me ages and ages to just point to right node, and it's turning. And that's really bad. But anyway, it takes some time, but I managed to do it. And I'm gonna try, as I said, to circularize to 1515, because this is gonna take quite a lot of time. But yeah. As you can see, obviously, if you're not familiar with remote tech, what remote tech is something that is a mode that makes it impossible for you to communicate with your drones if you don't have active connection. So there are lots of little things, like if you happen to forget to activate your antenna before you decouple, then you're gonna have a dead probe which can't communicate with anything because it doesn't have an antenna. So if you use remote tech, this is gonna happen to you a lot at the beginning, and then when you have actually lost a couple hours because of this kind of mistake, you're gonna get more paranoid with that, and always make sure that you're gonna have enough electricity and an antenna. So yeah, I finally circularize my orbit at 15 kilometers, and I said maybe it's too low, I don't know. I'm deploying everything, radiators, which are huge. The radiators dissipate heat, and I used really large radiators because, as you're gonna see now, I'm gonna pack a lot of hardware here. So this is my lander, my typical lander, which I call the modular lander. You have the top part, which is the manned part, then the science part, which is meant to be changed for every biome, and obviously the prop part. I try to make everything kind of balance with, you know, center of mass being well placed regarding to the RCS ports. So yeah, it's 3 parts. The top part is autonomous, the lower part is autonomous as well, and the only part that you can't pilot and control is the middle part, so this will have to be controls. The lower part actually packs quite a decent amount of delta V, which I'm gonna adjust by adding or removing fuel before each dive to a biome, because I don't want to waste fuel. So now that you saw my modular lander, what I want to do is send 16 of those, because there are 16 biomes on the moon, and I want to get the experiment for each of them. So all the experiment for each of them. So, and what I did was I created a cross that I'm gonna send to the station. I'm actually gonna assemble it in space, because, as I said, everything has to fit in the fairings, because I don't want anything to be launched into space without a fairing. So I'm not gonna just launch the cross. I'm gonna launch several parts of them, and once assembled, this is what it's gonna be like. And yeah, that's gonna be a sight to see. Actually, one more. Yeah, this is what it's gonna be like. Cute, isn't it? This is gonna kill my frame rate and my computer is gonna die, but yeah, let's try anyway. Yeah, so there's also gonna be one of those plus the module. Also, we have the problem of coming back and bringing back all the science experiments. And this is gonna be the work of this little module here, which is just a heat shield with an antenna and a probe. And yeah, the science part goes like this. And then I'm gonna have to send 16 of those. I probably piled up or something, and then find a way to bring everything back. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it yet. You know, I'm maybe gonna send everything up like that, and then assemble everything in space. I don't know. Maybe more likely what I'm gonna do is assemble things on the moon and then bring everything back and just set for a really, really low orbit around Kerbin, but outside of the atmosphere, and just separate every single one of them, one at a time, maybe with separatrons. Maybe it's gonna be enough separatrons, I don't know, so that they crash, and not they crash, they re-enter and open parachutes and everything. So yeah, so this is the cross. This is what I'm gonna send in space right now. This is but that's gonna be for the next episode, of course. So I hope that you guys like that, and see you next time for the launch of the cross and the assembly of the cross around Moon. See you guys, bye.